Hello there, my name is Cash the Stampede. The reason for today's video is because Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed should be free now for PS Plus Extra and Premium members right now. And since I love me some Ghostbusters and also love me some Spirits Unleashed, I wanted to let you know that this game is 100% worth your time. The thing is that the game has come quite a way since launch and has made some very good improvements to the overall experience, making this the perfect time for those who like busting in a group or for those who prefer doing their busting privately. But right up top, I wanted to point out that this game launched with multiplayer as its main focus, but over time, the single player and co-op experiences were enhanced quite a bit. Originally, the idea was to take 5 people, 1 ghost, 4 Ghostbusters, and let them loose in an area to play Haunted Prop Hunt. Prop Hunt, if you have never heard of it, was a mode in Call of Duty, if you can believe it, and not entirely sure which COD it was in, but a mode was added in at some point that let one person run around playing hide and seek with a few other players. The catch was that the other players could turn into random objects while they hid. So you, as the seeker, had to use your knowledge of the map to look for things that stood out. Now, take that and turn the entire scenario around and add in a little bit of Ghostbuster flavoring. See, there's only one person that hides here, this is the ghost, and they possess or can haunt almost any object in the game. A ghost can control an object while they hide in it, or use their ghostly abilities to haunt other items, making them look like the player is hiding in them. They can even create smaller ghosts to help out as the match goes on. The other players are Ghostbusters, obviously, and they are hunting down the ghosts within a set amount of time before the location becomes completely haunted, which can change depending on certain events that can happen over the course of a match. We will go far more into detail about this in a bit, but that is the overall gist of what IllFonic, the devs for the game, were going for at launch. There were also some private matches that could also be played solo or with friends, but it was very basic since you could really only select which ghosts you could bust and which map you wanted to bust them on. And honestly, that was all we really needed since the rest of the game was done pretty well. There was even a small campaign to do, which was actually pretty fun. But the look, the sound, the feel, the equipment, and all of this from the Ghostbusters franchise were present and accounted for. You could even customize your buster with the gear that you unlocked over time while you played and completed challenges. You also could level up your ghost to unlock different colors and variants that have different abilities to haunt with. All done with an okay online experience, albeit with the occasional run-in with some glitchy areas ghosts could take advantage of. Mostly patched out, but not quite perfect just yet. But around the time the game was released on the Nintendo Switch, there was an update that brought the game's offline component to the exact place I wish it was at during launch, giving us what felt like an actual ghost busting operation to run, complete with ghost bounties that varied in stats, difficulty, and in ghost behavior. This was a great addition that continues to get updates even now. When holidays happen in real life, you'll notice we'll get matching decorations in the Firehouse. That's nothing too crazy. But the recent Ghostbusters Frozen Empire movie has had gear that was added into the game along with a ghost hunt starring the main villain Garaka. Past movies and the Ghostbusters cartoons have even had some of their gear added into the game as well as a few ghosts. I've even heard that the fall update we usually get may also bring the Scoleri brothers from the court scene back in Ghostbusters too. We got the Ghost of Halloween Sam Hain from the real Ghostbusters cartoon on Halloween a few years back, and that ghost hunt was pretty fun, so I am looking forward to see how the brothers ghost hunt will play out. Oh, and in case you were worried, these additions I'm talking about are totally free and are available to you online or offline. And you can even level up your characters entirely offline if you like. But enough about all that, let's do a rundown of the game's features and how it actually plays, because if you like what you've heard so far, the rest will hopefully have you logging in today for your first day on the job. Your journey as a Ghostbuster, of course, starts here in the Firehouse, and as you enter, you will see a very well done recreation of the place. And of course, we have the legendary Ecto-1 front and center. Sadly, we don't get to drive the old gal to jobs, but she is right here where she should be. You'll see Winston Zedmore and Ray Stantz are actually represented in-game and are voiced by Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson, with Winston running the place and Ray running his occult shop next door just like he has been in recent movies. The locker area is to the left, and this is where you can customize your very own Buster. I have unlocked a nice outfit for reaching the top level, but you can make your character look as classic or as random or as cursed as you like. And as a nice bonus, you can even create an offline Ghostbusters team that you can customize any way you like as well. And they even hang out around the Firehouse with you between jobs. I've opted to add in a few characters from the real Ghostbusters cartoon. We have Egon, Peter, and Janine hanging out with the movie Ghostbusters, Ray and Winston. And you can even customize their gear so they don't go out on jobs with basic equipment. Next to the lockers is a wall showing off the various patches you can add to your outfit, unlocked by performing various feats in the game. The side job tables is next and is where you will find daily and weekly challenges, and you can even see the current contract you have selected from the R&D area upstairs, but we'll talk more on that in a minute. As we keep moving towards the back of the room, you will notice some more crew members. I'm not interacting with them. You can, but I'm not, because they will have some responses that may spoil the story for you. Because yes, if you missed what I said earlier, this game has a fun little campaign mode. But this is where the jobs are launched for both on and offline ghost hunts. As I mentioned, this used to be very trimmed down, super slim experience when it came to offline ghost hunting. We only had settings to arrange a private match in the past, but as you see here, we now have an entire ghost bounties section that refreshes after every job. 3 of those jobs available are the gold expert level jobs, and they will always be available, but the other 7 jobs will change out ghosts, difficulties, and modifiers. All expressed by a class rating, which is very on brand for explaining power levels of ghosts in the Ghostbusters franchise. If we move down to the basement, you will see the infamous ghost containment unit, which you will be able to use once you catch any ghost. And if we move over here, you will see that the sub-basement is accessible, but again, in the spirit of not spoiling anything, you will have to see what story-related things are down here on your own. Up top, we have the second floor, which has the very recognizable rec room. Here you can look at tutorials or Egon's spores, molds, and fungus, which you will actually collect while out on the job. You can even prestige your character level, just like in COD, and you get a few unique items in the process. Also, we have the R&D section, which is our final stop upstairs with another crew member on hand. This terminal right here, though, will allow you to select the different contracts I mentioned, and these will unlock all of the various upgrades and cosmetics your equipment has. You can customize your gear up here in R&D if you like, but we can also slide down the pole right here, because of course you can, which allows us to head downstairs so we can go outside to the equipment bench. Here is where you can test your equipment in the back alley, and please take advantage of this, because finding out that your new loadout overheats your gear quickly is not something you want to happen on the job. But interacting with the table here will show you all of the different pieces of gear you can equip and customize. And you can adjust and change quite a bit once you unlock everything that is available to you. You can change the look, the feel, the cooldowns of all of the gear if you like. But beware, because there is a min-max system going on here, so nothing can get too OP. And as you level up, I do believe you'll get a few other unlocks on the side, things like your secondary equipment, for example. This will consist of goggles, gases, pylons, and radars to help defend against the ghosts, but the bulk of what you need to be a better buster will be collected from contracts. Also out in the alley, you'll see the doorway to Ray's occult shop, where Ray Stantz hangs out, along with a few Easter eggs I'll let you find on your own. There are a few newspaper clippings displayed here. As you collect them, you'll find them as you bust ghosts, but they will explain why each location is severely haunted. The main use of the occult shop, though, is Tobin's Spirit Guide. This is where you can choose and customize your ghost. There are 9 different ghost classes, and each class has a few different subtypes within it. Each class has different strengths and different weaknesses, along with unique colors and abilities for each class and subtype. Some ghosts are extra slimy, some are very loud, some are sneaky, some can straight up possess you or are just super aggressive. So you will have to play around with them just as much as you would a Ghostbusters gear so you can find out what works best for you. After you customize your ghost and or Ghostbuster, you can start your first match. You can select whether or not you want to load in as a Buster or a Ghost, but if you've started the match as a Ghostbuster, then your team's job will be to catch the ghost before the location becomes completely haunted. Your PKE meter will help you track any ghost or any objects a ghost has hid in or haunted, as well as any rifts that have spawned in on the map. Now rifts, they are tricky little escape routes a ghost can use to escape your ghost trap once you have captured them, but finding and destroying any rifts you find will eliminate this pesky feature, allowing you to trap the ghost for good, winning the match. Online matches will only give the ghost 3 rifts to use, but the offline ghost bounties can have many more, so be wary of this. The ghost will be haunting objects in the area, as mentioned, but they'll also be haunting any civilians brave enough to stay in the area as well. That bravery is fleeting though, so you will have to keep them calm during your job, otherwise they will evacuate the area, which can increase the haunting meter, assisting the ghost with the win. But you can reinforce those civilians by calming them down, so it is a very good idea to do this when you see them. But destroying haunted objects and keeping civilians calm can help slow down or even completely stop the haunting meter for a time. But there's no way to unhaunt an area, so you can't reverse any of the ghost's progress as the match goes on. For the Ghostbusters, there is a handy cart you can use to swap out some of your gear on the fly. So if you've destroyed or lost your trap, you can come here to get a new one. But if you need to be more mobile, or if you need help tracking the ghost a little easier, or you want to eliminate some of its ghostly tricks, check the cart because there's a chance you might have the right tool for the job unlocked. But over time, if you destroy enough rifts, you will be able to permanently put an end to this ghost and give them a new home in the containment unit back at the Firehouse. If you load into a match as a ghost, well then you are trying your hardest to haunt the location before you get captured. This is a solo gig, so you won't rely on any outside help. You will have to rely on your own abilities to create little helpers to assist you in terrifying civilians while you haunt various rooms all over the map. You'll be able to create ghouls, haunt objects, set traps, attack, and fly faster with PKE energy you build up while hiding in objects. Your abilities have a short cooldown, but you do have to have energy to use them. And the more ghouls you make and the more objects you haunt on the map, the more they float around and distract the Ghostbusters for you. But the more you haunt objects in a single room, the more haunted that room becomes. And once the room becomes 100% haunted, objects in that room will become haunted on their own, saving you precious energy. And it even doubles as a nice place to hide as a side bonus because it's so charged with PKE energy. As you move around from room to room though, haunting each one over time will increase the overall haunting percentage. And then hitting 100% triggers the end of the match, which usually can take around 5 to 6 minutes for a seasoned ghost, but some maps are bigger than others and can take almost 10 full minutes to haunt. But once that 100% meter is filled, you'll have around 60 seconds to survive before the match is over. This gives the Ghostbusters a final chance to catch you, but continuing to scare civilians into leaving will reduce this time even more, giving you an easy win. But that's a look at both sides of the coin, and everything works identical whether you're offline or on. And honestly, it has all come together quite nicely in a far more complete package that was available to us at launch. And I couldn't be any more happier for those of you who will get a chance to check it out for free in its current state. For me personally, after the online mode was updated, I would gravitate more towards playing offline because of the new bounty system as I leveled up. I mean, the bounties were fun, and it gave me a chance to get through a lot of that gear really quickly, getting my Buster ready for online play. But even still, because they let me make my own team, I still found myself playing offline. But this weekend, while I recorded this footage, I found myself playing online yet again, reminding me that there is still an entire different type of fun and challenge waiting for me in this game when I need it. And getting into a match was not hard at all. Wait times this weekend ran from about 30 to 50 seconds, with some of the matches I joined already in progress. The good thing about this is that the game will just load in bots and they'll swap out for anyone who leaves or drops out, making sure all the matches will still end and everyone still gets their XP. Again, solid work and something that I think everyone should get a chance to check out. So, I ask you what I should have asked you at the beginning of this video. When it comes to free PS Plus games this month, who you gonna call? I have been Cash the Stampede, folks. Thanks for watching.
That's a relief. Thanks.